Aloha, boys and girls, and other. I respectfully respect you, your identification of yourself. All good with Uncle Ron, Brother Ron here, all right? Today we're going to talk about the wonderful food item called tofu. Tofu. Most of you know what tofu is. If you don't, go look it up. It's not my job. Go look it up, right? Anyway, I love tofu. When I was a kid growing up, we grew up in a plantation camp of cane field workers. Okay, my parents came from the Philippines, so my dad worked in the fields. His job was to divert water to the rows and rows of planted sugar cane, as well as cutting it down for harvest to be burned. We'll look it up because the stalks would take about 2 years to mature, and it was hard work under the hot Lahaina sun. And they would cut the cane, and so that they could push it together with tractors and whatnot, and then set it on fire, and they burn the leaves off. Kind of trippy, right? So anyway, to paint a picture for you, so we lived in homes. We had hot water in the camps, but we did not have indoor bathrooms, like modern day. It was really like primitive, kind of like slaves almost. Slave living, if you will. So we had to do our number one and number twos in an outhouse, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. When you gotta go, your number one, your number twos in an outhouse, all right? And to take a bath, we had like these big, like man-made tanks filled with fresh water. And to heat it up, we had to burn like wood. Everyone had to burn the wood to heat up the water. And we'd use, there wasn't any showers or bathtubs. We had to use like pots and pans to like rinse ourselves off. So that was poor living, but we got by. However, the foods that were prepared in that camp was influenced by all of these different immigrants from all over. So we basically, so we basically had foods from Japan, Korea, China, Portugal, Spain, the Spaniards, and slash Mexicans. So we had like a whole melting pot of different varieties of flavors, if you will, and my mom and dad was Filipino, so they had the Philippines, Asian style cooking techniques. A lot of it was one pot meals, stir fries out of the pot, or out of the wok, frying pan, or like stews and braises out of the pots and stuff like that, right? And roasts. So we shared. It was like fusion before fusion was in. You know what I mean? Like when a chef, I'm going off script. It's better. So when a chef opens up a bistro or his own restaurant, his or her restaurant, they go, oh yeah, it's like fusion, Asian fusion, whatever, American Asian fusion. And basically, back in the day, we were fusion before it was in, before that term was in, because we took a little bit of what the Japanese had, what the Hawaiians had, what the Portuguese had, and we made it come together and we shared it. That's why the foods, a lot of culinary experts come to Hawaii and they go, man, the foods here in Hawaii is just awesome. It's very tasty. Even the mom and pop restaurants, off the hook. So the cultures blended together. So like the Japanese had their sweet soy sauces, and the Koreans had theirs too, and the Chinese and whatnot. And we just all shared, and even till today, the Asian flavors, the Filipino flavors, it's coming together. Like a lot of foodies are so they're so experienced or educated now, because there's all kinds of foods happening, street food, if you will, food trucks that offer all these different ethnic foods, and people are into it. There's people in suburban America, if there is such a thing now, they're into the sriracha, the soy sauces, and the various fish sauces even, The Vietnamese have their own fish sauce. The Filipinos, of course, have their own fish sauce and all that. And the different rice wine vinegars, or the oils, if you will, all these different flavors all coming together. You know what I mean? And I mean, you go out there and on TikTok, you see Korean tacos, right? You see Filipino burritos. Everything's mixed up, and that's great. And I think that's awesome. All right. So, and being Hawaii too, the Hawaiian culture, very simple. Hardly any herbs and spices. The Hawaiians cook with just generally sea salt, seaweeds, the kukui nut, basically stuff like that, or peppers that was introduced. So that cooking is all about introduction, right? I mean, back in the day, right? You had somebody from in Japan, and the traders went by on donkey or horseback or whatever, and it's like, hey, where are you guys from? It's like, we're from a certain part of the world. We're passing by, and they give the Japanese some, I don't know, some peppers or some different kinds of salts, and then they use it. You know what I mean? And the coastal regions of people, all the coastal regions, they traded with people who are up in the hills, right? The guys up in the hills, usually they had like beef or pork or goats, right? Stuff like that. And they would trade all the different cultures, the seafoods. The coastal people had seafood, and they would trade, and travelers would come by, different traders, and they would have herbs and spices, and that's how it happens. And it happens till today too. Like if you move into an apartment complex, you may come from one culture and you meet a family from another culture, and you share different stories and food, right? So that's the beauty of food, is sharing where people are from. And some people are mixed breed, and I mean this out of respect, but people intermarry, and they get different cultures all melted into one family, or one village, or whatever, one neighborhood. So food is awesome. Learn about food, learn about people, learn about food, open up your minds, because we all gotta eat. And don't put anybody down because you're eating something different. Oh, their food smells funny. Well, it's alien to you because you never tried it. Go try it out. So anyway, so I got off track. We're talking about tofu, all right? So tofu is what we're talking about. Tofu. What is tofu? Okay. So that block of soybean that is dried and soaked in water, blended, and strained to create fresh soy milk, all right? Then a mineral coagulant is added to curdle the milk into soft solids, and which is then pressed into blocks. So it's similar to making cheese, all right? Okay, so for those of you thinking, hey, Ron, that's just fine and dandy, but I can't have soy. You want to kill me? You're going to feed me tofu made out of soy, and I'm going to break out? My eyes are going to get puffy, and I can't breathe, and I'm going to die? What's wrong with you, Ron? Nah, hold on, Junior. Put on your brakes. If you want soy-less tofu, can do. Just relax. Let Uncle Ron, Brother Ron finish. Don't cut me off. Don't call me an idiot just yet. Wait. So for soyless tofu, there's manufacturers that actually make soyless tofu. What they use is various different beans, legumes, or legumes, different beans and peas and whatnot, and they do the same thing. So there is soyless tofu out there. I love tofu. And going back to growing up in the camps, most locals like me, the baby boomers, was introduced to tofu by a dish called pork tofu. Pork tofu was basically cubes of soft tofu or firm tofu, whatever, and cuts of pork was stir fried with garlic, ginger, mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, or the white mushrooms, with soy sauce, a little vinegar maybe, but sugar, soy sauce was the base, and garlic, ginger if you like, chives, scallions, whatnot, if you got them, and long rice. The mung bean rice was in there. So pork tofu was how I was introduced with tofu. It wasn't tofu straight off the bat, straight up, just tofu. My mom made pork tofu or chicken tofu. And later on, as I got older, man, this tofu stuff is good. They sell it on its own, eat it on its own. So where do you buy tofu? Where do you buy tofu? You can get tofu in all the major supermarkets, your Safeways, your Krogers, whatnot. You can get it at Walmart now, at the stores that sell food. You just ask the clerk, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, places like that. Costco for sure. They got different kinds of bulk tofu. Costco, I said that. Safeway. But the best place to get tofu, if you can't get it in those markets, if you got like a local Asian market, like Seafood City is a big one. But if you got these local Asian markets, either Korean, Chinese, Filipino, Vietnamese, usually they'll have tofu. They will have tofu. Go there. And when you go to these local Asian markets in your area, usually you get good fish that you can't get in a chain supermarket. These small markets might have fishermen that catch small reef fish. That's excellent. You scale them, you gut them, and you can fry it in hot peanut oil or whatever, drizzle it with soy sauce and tofu. But when you go to the Asian markets, the little Asian marts, sometimes those are the best places to get your Asian ingredients. All right, so yeah, go check your local market, your supermarket, whatnot. Really quickly, I'm just gonna go over the market of tofu, basically. Like if you're wondering, what kind of money is made off of tofu? Okay, so I looked it up, and this is just a short episode. All right, the total U.S. market sales in 2025 were estimated between, check this out, 150 million and 467 million dollars, depending on the specific industry scope, retail specific versus broader wholesale market valuations. All right. Major market research firms position the total valuation of the U.S. tofu market at around 180 million to 470 million dollars. All right, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's just briefly speaking. So the market characteristics in 2025: product share, regular / firm block tofu formats maintained the dominant market share over processed and flavored alternatives. So basically, when chefs buy tofu, or home cooks, all right, the good home cook or good chef are those that want to create their own flavors. And when you buy tofu that's already flavored, you can't really customize that tofu, right? Because it's already flavored, right? Right? So it's just like buying sauces. You get sauces that's already mixed and matched. So you don't want that. You want just the plain, no flavor tofu. Sales channel: off-trade retail chains, supermarkets, and hypermarkets accounted for over 71% of total distribution. I said that already, right? Supermarkets, your big markets, Safeways, Krogers, Whole Foods, Walmarts, that kind of, they got the buying power. See, no matter what, tariffs, smariffs, whatever, they got the power to buy it in bulk, in shipping containers, right? Boom. But don't discount those, or don't, put off those local Asian markets I talked about. Even some Spanish markets might have tofu, because now everyone's looking for certain things, right? So consumer trends, the growth is supported by mainstream flexitarian adoption and clean label plant-based diet shifts. even as certain broader meat alternative categories contracted. You heard what I said? I'm just reading. So anyway, all right. So I'm gonna cut this short right now. But tofu is a big seller nationwide in the U.S. I know the end you'd be like, wow, what did you mean by that? I don't know. So my friends out there go, hey Ron, when are you gonna start doing cooking videos? I will soon. I will soon. All right. So again, this is just about tofu. All right, tofu can uh, can make salads good. You know, you can blend it and make it into a drink or add it to a drink, add it to stir fries, add it to stews, or just bread it, fry it on your own. And I got a little video that's going to be like less than a minute. It's going to be playing right here on my right here. And here's the video I got. Now the video you're watching these guys, it's grainy. And the reason why I made it grainy is because I don't have a legal team. Because if I was just to rip that off, or not rip it off, but just to play it, I could get flagged for copyright infringement. And I still can, but I kind of made it shaky and a little grainy. But you can kind of see what the guy is doing, right? He's cutting it in cubes and dusting it with seasonings and some flour and frying it with a sauce, right? And he's putting it with rice and he's going to enjoy it with his girlfriend, right? So that's a romantic piece of vegetarian meat, if you ask me. Tofu, right? Stir it up in a pan with your lover. All right, so anyway, this is my Chef Sambrano channel. Subscribe to it. I have more interviews with chefs and other foodies and maybe travel the world like Anthony Bourdain. I like Anthony Bourdain better than that guy that yells a lot. That Hell's Kitchen guy, what's his name? I don't like him. Gordon Ramsay. Sorry, Gordon. I don't really like you. But my man was always Anthony Bourdain. That was my man. That was the GOAT. Greatest of all time. Anyway, learn, have an open mind about food. And again, this is about tofu, right? It's all good, guys. Live and learn. Be at peace. Be good to other people. Someone invites you over for dinner, show up. If you can't, say sorry, you can't. But when you go there, eat what they serve you. Now, here's the thing. I have certain restrictions. I can't eat certain things because I got issues with my health. Just kindly say to the host, hey, Barbara or Ricky or whatever, hey, I do have a health issue right now, and I'm sorry, I can't partake in this because it has nothing to do with your cooking. You know, I know you cook good. I can smell it, but I just can't have these ingredients. I'm sorry, you know. Usually they would really understand that if you pull them on the side. But get to them quick. Don't like wait at the table. Here you go, Ron. Like, hey, Barbara, I don't want to eat this. You know, if you come across like that, you're going to look like a total ass. Find out what you're making. Go in the kitchen. Hey, what's in there? Ooh, peanuts. I can't have peanuts. I'm sorry. Usually the host will like have something that you can eat. Maybe just a salad or something. I don't know. You'll figure it out. You're an adult. You're not an idiot. Use your head. Think about it. All right, I'm Ron Sambrano, Uncle Ron, Chef Ron. Pretty soon, we'll be doing some awesome getting around the world and looking at people how they cook. And I'll be making some simple dishes out of my wok because pretty soon I'm going to have my band. It's going to be all about heavy metal. I'm going to write songs about food and we're going to sing it heavy metal, hard rock. Pumping style. All right, you guys take care. God bless.